First video that blew up. Halo nama saya Genesia. Hello, my name is Culture Shock in Germany. Okay, to be honest, it's because I want to. What's your type or ideal guy? I know it's bad, but I continue to do it. Hello people and welcome to a special episode of this channel. It's a special Q&A video for the 100k special. So when I hit the 100k on YouTube in December 2023, I asked you guys to leave me some questions, whether on Instagram, on my question box story, community post in YouTube, or on the shorts comments. So let's get things started. First off, we're gonna be starting with some basics. What's your real name? Genesia Sinclair Chua. That's how I would pronounce it in Indonesian. It's my real name, so the channel name Genesia Sinclair, that's actually my name. It's not a stage name. It's my birth name that my parents have given me. Lahir tahun berapa? How old am I? 1st November 1998. Where in Indonesia are you from? I was born and raised in Jakarta, Indonesia. How tall are you? 173 centimeters. Introvert or extrovert? This is interesting. All my life, I've been an introvert. In high school, I was like 80% introverted. Uni happened and I liked socializing more. Recently, I did the personality test again and apparently I'm 60% extroverted. I don't know if I like that because I still get drained after social interactions, but I do enjoy them. Latar belakang pendidikan or major. I have a bachelor's degree in engineering, mechatronics engineering. I have a master's degree in electrical engineering and I am currently learning Korean in Seoul. Why engineering? Because at the time in high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a living. And if I took engineering first, I can take something else for my master's, like business or something, but if I took business first, then I can't take engineering as a master's, like it's harder, you know? So I just took the major that would give me the most options. And I was good at math. Actually, I wanted to take film, but that's another story. But now I'm making videos, so it's okay, right? Next section is about content. Are you a full-time YouTuber or is this a hobby of yours to make videos? Currently, I am a full-time content creator. This is where my tien comes from. So I appreciate the support. So it started as a hobby, but I've always wanted to make it my full-time and now it is. Thank God for that. So why be a content creator instead of an engineer? Passion. Engineering was fun at that time, but it's not something I wanted to do forever. I'm also not the office job kind of person. I never wanted a 9 to 5. I feel like it's restraining me. I prefer something that's more project-based and more adventurous. Like, I don't know what next year would look like, what next month would look like in content creation, and I think that's exhilarating. It's fun. I get to meet people. That's why I'm taking content. And also, I feel like with content, I get to see results very quickly, like how I'm affecting people's lives when they comment or DM me like, oh, like I relate to your videos, I don't feel so alone, or it's so funny, it made my day. That's the kind of feedback that I want to get, and that's not something I get with engineering because it's a, you know, it's a bigger process, it's a bigger company, it's industrial and stuff. That's my reason. What gave you the idea to start making these videos? I've always enjoyed making videos. In school, I've always volunteered to edit like group projects, even though at the time, back in my days, CapCut did not exist yet. Video editing apps on desktop were still really bad. Like it would crash every 5 minutes for a 2-minute video. But I just always enjoyed making them. I started with YouTube long form first, actually, for a year before short form. I was just sharing about my life, what I learned, and then I started making language and culture content when I made shorts. I guess it all stems from like me wanting to share my experiences in a fun way. But I think sharing is the start of the whole content. Why make content for me? What's your first video that blew up? It was my first ever reel actually, which was about difficult German words that sound similar, like fürchte, all these F-U-R words, and that went up to like 600,000 views, and then I made a few more, and then Geh mal Bier holen, where it's like a German party song and I put like the English meaning to it while dancing to it. That blew up to like 1.6 million. Those two I think really started skyrocketing my content journey. Next, how do I get inspiration for videos? Is it different for each content? I would say most of my videos come from like my own personal experience, living in a different culture or learning a new language like in class, or I can also see friends who are struggling with something or who experience something, and I'm like, that would be interesting for a video. Or sometimes it's also informational, so something I find interesting and I'm like, I think people should know about this. How can I make people learn about this in a fun, entertaining way? Who's editing your video? Are you editing alone, or is there someone helping you with editing? So I used to edit everything myself. In October 2023, so a few months ago, I have an editor helping me with long-form videos. I still edit a few long-form videos myself, but mostly he's doing like the interviews and the vlogs. And short videos, right now I'm still editing everything myself. How do you choose what to share and what to keep private with your followers? This is an interesting question. I think if it's about traveling, like where I go, what I eat, what I experience, I would share that. Mostly on Instagram stories, like I update pretty daily. So if you're interested in where I go, and I go a lot of places, actually I travel a lot, you should go follow me on Instagram and check out my Instagram stories. Will me posting this give value to people? Will they find it interesting if they're interested in living there? Is it something that I just want to share because like I felt grateful or joyful that day? If I do post about my struggles, it's afterwards when I reflect back, or it's just as an update like, hey, like everyone struggles kind of thing. Does that make sense? Like, why make people's days worse? Like, life is hard as it is, so I try to post things that I feel are useful for people, or I try to. That's a good question, thank you. Meetup in Seoul, hang out with fans. Are you planning to host meetups in Korea, or are you down to hang out? This is interesting because in Germany I made Temu communities. It's a Discord server where people just meet up in different cities and I would host them, or other members can also host them. But since I left Germany, no one's really leading or initiating it, so I think it's kind of on hiatus. I might do the same thing in Seoul, but I don't feel like I know the city or the country enough yet to do that. It certainly is possible in the future. Meetups are always fun, and all the people who came to the meetup so far are such nice people, and I'm still in contact with a lot of them. Inspirasi buat aspirasi konten kreator aja. I feel like every creator has an audience, so keep creating. You will find your color eventually, find your audience, find your community. Even if your videos aren't getting views in the beginning, that's okay, because once you get like a viral video and people go to your profile, you want to make sure you actually have a portfolio of videos where people actually want to follow you and know what you're about, and not like just have one viral video and then when people go to your page, it's just a lucky video or it's just a personal account and they just don't follow. So it's like a wasted opportunity. So just keep making videos, your time will come. Hi Ting! Next section is about Germany. So, why Germany, and how did I get to Germany and become an automation engineer? So actually I have a full video here of how I got the job, but long story short, I went to a university in Greater Jakarta in Indonesia, and to get a dual degree we need to do 6 months in Germany, like an internship, and also take the exam there. So that's how I first came to Germany, and because my internship I was in the automation department, I continued that for my thesis and also for my full-time job. Kuliah berapa tahun di Jerman? For the bachelor's, I came for the internship and the thesis 1 year, and then I continued my master's, which took around 2.5 years, so 3.5 years in total, and I was also working full-time. Culture shock in Germany. I knew Germans were direct, but when I first experienced it, I was pretty shocked, because in Indonesia, when someone offers you food and you want it, you don't directly say yes, especially if you're not that close with that person, because you look too ambitious, or not ambitious, kayak pengen banget sih, you know, kayak. So you would say no thank you, and then they offer it again and you're like, okay, sure, thank you so much, you know. When I first came to Germany, I lived with a German family and she was offering me cake and I wanted it, but I was like, no, it's okay. I expected her to offer it again, and then she's like, okay, and then she stored it in the basement and I'm like, my cake. So the next time I just said yes directly. So yeah, Germans are direct. What do you like most and least about Germany? I love the nature and the fresh air, in my village at least. I love how I can go everywhere by public transport. I do not like how the trains are late a lot of the time. Next up is Korea. Why Korea? I want to learn the language. Okay, to be honest, it's because I want to interview K-pop idols, and I say that in a very serious way, that is my goal of me learning Korean, because I want to interview K-pop idols in Korean, because a lot of them aren't comfortable with English, and I'm like, yeah, I like learning languages as well, might as well. Not just idols, but also like, you know, actors, or also locals. Honestly, it's not just the celebrities. That's like one thing, but I also want to talk to locals like the Bungopang lady and grab her story, you know, and I need Korean for that because they don't speak English so much. And that's okay. I watch a lot of Korean content as well, like interviews, variety shows, and I want to understand it without reading subtitles, because there's also a lot of things that gets lost in translation, like it's not as funny or it's not as deep, or like song lyrics, everything. Another thing is, I had an acquaintance who studied here in KU as well in 2020, 2021, and I saw her stories and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could take a Korean course for like 6 months in an actual university there, not like some random language course. So I found that interesting. So I started planning or dreaming of it since 2021, 2020, but actually got to do it now. And I also want to explore a new culture, learn a new language, travel, meet new people, all that good stuff. What program am I studying in Korea? I'm taking the Korean language course for 9 months. One semester is 3 months, so I'm taking like 3 levels. I'm in Korea University, the Korean Language Center. Korea University is one of the top 3 universities in Korea. And the next section is about living abroad. Generally. Susah nggak study abroad, tantangan hidup sendiri di negara orang? I personally don't find it hard to live abroad. I enjoy like all the newness, meeting new people, and I think I'm also very blessed in Germany and in Korea right now. God put really good people around me that I never feel alone. I feel welcomed. I feel like I have a new family here. I also like traveling. Sometimes I do get homesick, then I would just call my mom up. I call her a lot, like almost every day. Tips to be adapted to the culture differences abroad. Just be open to it and accept things as they are. Appreciate the differences, learn them. And I think at the end of the day, you'll also get a broader perspective of like life and the world, where what you know is not necessarily the best, and the world is so big. I think you become a lot more accepting as you live abroad. And then you can also get stronger in your own values and principles of like what you think your value should be, because you're exposed to a lot more things. So next up is languages. What's your motivation for learning different languages? I just enjoy it. I find it interesting. I love when I can speak to locals, even if the local can speak English as well, for example. When you speak to them in their native language, I think one, they appreciate it more, two, they become more open to you. And if you master that language enough to have a full conversation, you're tapping into a different world than if you're just speaking a common language. How am I good in languages? I think I have a little bit of talent for languages. Like learning it comes easily to me. Grammar just makes sense. For some people, math just makes sense to them, you know. For me, languages just make sense. But it's also a lot of practice. Like I don't start off directly good at languages. And I'm not fluent in the languages that I learned. I just look fluent in videos because that's the result of like 10 different takes, and I take the best one and edit out the parts where I mumble or struggle. But when I'm actually learning it now, like, oh, I'm struggling with numbers. 일곱, 아니, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, I hope you'll see. I'm still thinking for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Korean. So just practice, practice, practice. And don't be afraid of making mistakes and talking to locals. It's okay. You're learning. They know you're learning. Since you've learned quite a few languages, you perhaps have a language that you thought would be fairly easy or hard when you wanted to learn it. I think Korean is pretty easy to learn because I have Chinese and Japanese basics and I'm exposed to it a lot. I think in the future, if I learn Spanish, that would be relatively easy, I think, because pronunciation-wise, it's pretty similar to Indonesian, where there's like the rolling R's, and it's also the same like Romance language family with German, so like I have some basics, so might be easy. Mau nanya, lebih susah belajar bahasa daerah kayak Sunda, Jawa, atau bahasa asing? I don't speak any local dialects and I'm sad about it, or any local language. So I would say that's harder to learn. And with foreign languages, there's like more resources online and more content that you can expose yourself to like self-study and stuff. But I do think that no matter which language, if you're put in a place where everyone just speaks that language and don't speak English or like your language, you would pick it up a lot quicker because you have no choice but to use it every day. Seberapa tertarik dengan bahasa daerah di Indo, bahasa daerah yang paling disuka? I'm interested in learning Japanese because just so many people are speaking it, and it would be great if I can speak it too. And I would also love to learn Hokkien because my family is Hokkien. They all speak Hokkien. I don't, for whatever reason. I would love to learn it. Is your Indo skills lacking after many languages? Because same problem for me abroad after 5 years. I mean, like my Indonesian was not good to begin with because academically in school, I went to an international school. So all the academic things I wrote or read were in English. Novels or essays, thesis, it was all in English. Also in uni. So I can't write formal Indonesian well. So when I have to reply an email in formal Indonesian, it's pretty hard. Also when I call up my mom, because she's one of the few people who I talk to in full Indonesian. I would miss some words. I would say it in English or in German and I'm like, wait, I actually have to translate. And sometimes there's just no exact translation for it, so I explain to her by context. And I'm not updated with the newest slang. So when I go back and like hang out with my Indonesian friends and they just say new words and I'm like, what does that mean? I feel very behind. I feel like a boomer when I talk to them. How did I learn Mandarin? In school for 10 years. So like up until grade 10. I had Chinese in school because it was like the second language taught. How many languages can you say hello my name is and count to 10? Halo nama saya Genesia. Hello my name is Genesia. 你好我叫蔡贝贝. That's my Chinese name. konnichiwa. Watashi no namae wa Genesia desu. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Genesia예요. Hello, my name is Genesia. 6. Just the language that I've learned. Did listening to a song in a language before and after learning it change what you felt? This is interesting. So for songs that I like, for example Korean songs that I like, I always look for the translation for it, and then for the songs I really like, I would write it out and actually like translate word per word, see like what each word means, and that gives me a deeper understanding of the song. But when I really know what a word means, for example there's this one 17 song that I really like, it's very comforting, it's called Hug, like hug. I used to listen to that when I was like super sad. And yesterday I asked my Korean teacher like, what's hug in Korean? Is it angkyo? Because that's the word in the lyrics. And she's like, it's annayo. And there's a difference because annayo is like two people hugging each other, but angkyo is like you're not doing anything and someone comes and gives you a hug. That's angkyo. And in the lyrics it's angkyon. So I'm like, oh, it's an even deeper meaning than just hug, because it's like giving, like being given a hug when you're feeling down. 힘들면 나에게로 안겨도 돼 나도 같아 숨기고 You should listen to it, it's a nice song. Kalau mimpi bahasa apa? Wow, this is a question I get so often. Like, I would say mostly English, Indonesian. I've dreamt some parts in Korean, even though I don't speak Korean. I think at some point I've dreamt in German as well. Do you think in Bahasa or in German? English, mostly, mixed with Bahasa Indonesia. And if I'm learning Korean, then I would just throw in some Korean, and also in Germany as well, the same. Ada bahasa baru yang mau dipelajari lagi? I was always interested in learning French because it's French. It's so weird that I want to learn it. And Spanish because a lot of people speak it. Next section is a speed round of favorite things and hobbies. Okay, favorite Indo food. I love gado-gado. It's like salad with peanut sauce. It's like Betawi. It's like Jakarta stuff. So like Jakarta pride. Favorite songs or shows. Based on my Spotify rap the last 2 years, I only listen to 2 genres apparently, K-pop and worship songs. So those are my favorite songs. Shows. I love shows with elements of fantasy, some action, mystery, some drama, some romance, and all of that in one is my favorite kind of shows or movies. What instrument do I play? I play the piano, learned classical piano for like 10 years to a pretty advanced level, but I haven't practiced so much. I play the guitar, self-taught. Not so great, but I can, play some chords. Does the triangle count in the recorder? Favorite K-pop groups? A lot of people ask me this. Thank you, K-pop stans. My bias group is 17. Carrot. BTS opened the door for me to the K-pop world, so I really like them too. I also really like ENHYPEN, LE SSERAFIM, Stray Kids, and now I'm getting into NTEAM. But like my main group is 17. 17 right here. How do I make a song? Oh, for those who don't know, I like making songs. I've released one song, Daily Dose of Grace, on Spotify, and the rest are just like snippets. I do have a lot of unpublished songs that I would love to publish at some point, but music production, I need to learn it, like how to make all the instrument stuff. For my first song, my friend helped me produce it. So either I find a music producer who can help me, or I learn music production. I express myself through words a lot, I write a lot. So sometimes it's in a journal, like in paragraphs, sometimes it's in a song. And then I give it a melody, and then I complete it to a whole song. I make songs. Next section is general personal questions. During your school days, your friends used to call you by what name? In kindergarten, it was Sinclair, because my family also calls me Sinclair. Claire, Starting primary, my school just calls me Genesia, so I'm called Genesia, or like Gene for short as my nickname. Am I Christian? Yes, I am Christian. I'm spiritual, I would say that. Dari kecil cara parenting orang tua gimana? I'm an only child, but I think my parents pushed me to be the best in everything I do, but not in a pressuring kind of way, but in a kind of like encouraging, you can do this kind of thing. So I think I have that mentality. So like, I think they raised me well. Ideal birthday day. Oh, I would relax, I would be with people I love, I would eat good food, eat good cake, and just enjoy the day. Like, yeah, I think that would be nice. How many countries I've been to throughout life? Quite a few, a lot in Europe, because like Germany's just surrounded by 9 other countries. Here are the countries I've been to. One flex that not many people know about yourself. Do you guys know that I went skydiving in Switzerland? I know, it's so cool. But like, I'm very proud of that. Like, that was one of the best experiences in my life. Skincare. I don't really use skincare. Like, I use moisturizer on my face at night and sometimes in the morning, and that's it. I'm grateful that I am blessed with like smooth skin from my mom, so I don't have to put on a lot of products. And I would just like clean my face when I shower. Can I do a backflip? No, I can't. Cita-cita apa udah tercapai? I think a lot of goals and dreams have been achieved that I dreamt of as a kid, but I have a lot more dreams going forward that I have not achieved. One of them is interviewing K-pop idols, which I hope will happen soon. Amen. Worst thing you do. I send a lot of memes to my best friends, but I don't open their DMs and open the memes they sent me. And sometimes I send them the memes that they've already sent me without knowing it. And the worst thing is, I know it's bad, but I continue to do it. But yeah, I should open their messages. Sorry, guys. Which is harder, engineering or learning 3 languages? Engineering. How do I manage time and stress in times when I have a lot of things to do? One, normally I freak out first. Like I would, I got so much to do. And then I would pray, calm down, and then maybe list the things I should do, break them down into smaller things. Do the smallest thing just to get me started, or like arrange it by like, okay, this I can do later, this I have to do now, and start with that. So, hiking. How do you make time for content creation and real life activities? I do the things I have to do, and otherwise I relax and binge watch things and spend time with people. Now for the juicy stuff that apparently a lot of people ask. What's your type or ideal guy? I'll answer this seriously though. I'm 25. I am looking for a husband material kind of person, not a boyfriend just for fun. So one, I need a man who shares the same faith. So he's Christian, but also spiritually mature. Because I want him to lead my family, like our future family, in faith. Number 2, he needs to be taller than me. I'm 173, I'm pretty tall. I want to be able to wear heels and still have him be taller. Like 185 would be nice, around that. And 3, he needs to be older than me, like same age or older, 4 years. I like funny guys, but who can also be serious. And someone with like a genuine nice smile and is actually kind to people. Like, those are like things I find attractive. And he has to be good looking to me. I don't care what people think, but to me, he has to be good looking. But the one that's like, I need to have is just the first one about faith. Next, pernah pacaran? Yes, I have exes. Pacarnya mana? OTW, Tuhan lagi kirim. Kapan nikah? Waktu Tuhan pasti yang terbaik. So I will wait. Takaman, kitaryo. Okay. Last section is about future plans. What's your plan for 2024? I want to be good in Korean, good enough to talk to people, to interview people. I want to grow my content as well, share experiences. You know, I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but better, to give better value to people and also to grow the community and travel. If you didn't find success as a content creator, what do you think your 2024 would have looked like? Do you think you'd stay in Germany? Ooh, interesting. I don't think I'll stay in Germany. I think I would go back to Indonesia. Start a food business maybe, or pursue modeling, or find emceeing jobs, or teach. Either teach languages or teach in a school, because I like teaching. And so I can be close with my mom, you know. What the point of being so far if I have no dream to chase? Future job plan after learning Korean. Interview K-pop idols. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Financially independent. I have a very large community online, hopefully married. I would know a lot of people in the entertainment industry, maybe give a lot of people jobs when my content creation becomes like a company thing, like when I have to hire more people for my production team. It would be great if I have my own show. That would be super cool. So that wraps up the Q&A. I hope you guys learned a bit about me. I tried to fit in as many questions as possible. Thank you guys for getting me to this point, because without you, this will literally not be here. I hope you guys stay with me in my journey. So thank you so much for being with me and making all this possible. I'm really grateful for every single one of you, and I hope you continue to get values from the content that I share in the future. This is Jen signing out. See you in the next video. Bye! General non-questions. Not a question, but I love your videos. Thank you so much. Warum bist du so cool? Weil ihr da seid.